Hello and welcome to Optimal Expression, where we embrace our greatest potential to manifest our wildest dreams. Good people, we're here once again, and I don't have to tell you because it's Monday. And on Monday, you already know what time it is. Yes, it's time to manifest. So let's do it. You know, I was wrecking my brain thinking about what should the topic be today on Manifest Monday. And I came to the conclusion that it's time for me to talk about one of my favorite topics of all, which is alternate realities, parallel universes, right? Because ultimately, one way to look at manifesting and the life that we experience is that we're traveling through parallel universes. You see, the reality that we encounter is always a reflection of who we are. When we're talking about what we want to manifest consciously for ourselves, we always have to start at home, okay? Starting at home with who I am. And the first question to ask is, who do I need to be to experience the reality that I would like to experience? A lot of people use the term reality creation. That's one way to look at it. However, a more accurate term is probably synchronization, because everything already exists. Every reality, as infinite as they may be, is already in existence. Now, you sync with a particular reality or experience based on who you are. Your default state of being is what determines what you experience. So, who do you need to be? Okay? Perhaps we need to go inside, look at ourselves, do some deep cleaning. Okay? And this is where we determine what type of habits we're going to let go of, what type of habits we're going to pick up, what type of relationships we're going to let go of, what type of relationships we're going to pick up. Okay? This is where we go into a deep dive on, hey, what do I need to change about my thinking and my beliefs? Because your feeling nature, which determines what you attract to you, is based on your thoughts. And your thoughts are based on your beliefs. Okay? Beliefs, thoughts, and feelings. These are the things that determine your state of being. Okay? Your default state of being is determined on your beliefs, your thoughts, and your feelings. If you want to experience life in a different capacity, in a drastic way, then it means that you need to make some drastic changes. And it doesn't mean that something's wrong with you, but you can't do the same thing and expect a different outcome, right? You can't keep doing the same thing and expect a different result. Isn't that called insanity? Sometimes we hit a ceiling on what we think is possible for us, okay? And what we need to understand that nobody on this earth can tell you what's possible for you. Only you, okay? And you have to ask yourself, what do you believe is possible for you? I'll give you an example. There was one time I used to work at a bank and doing IT support, okay? And I was called in to look at an issue that the president of the company was having, okay? While I was in his office, I came across information, okay, that told me how much money he makes a pay period. We got paid twice a month at that place. And his salary, what he made every pay period, was almost as much as I made in a year. So he got paid, okay? He got paid a dollar amount twice in a month that I would only see once in a year. Ask yourself, if you're making $35,000 a year, is it possible for you to make $35,000 a month? or even $35,000 a week? Have you even thought about some people actually do that? At that point in time, it hadn't even occurred to me that somebody was making that much money. I mean, yeah, you think to yourself, somebody's a millionaire. But what does that look like? I got a glimpse of it, okay? All right. So, needless to say, to go from, $35,000 a year to $35,000 a month, that's a change. That's a whole new universe, okay? And if we're going to make that kind of change, we need to ask ourselves first, do I believe that's possible for me? Do I think it's possible for me to make $35,000 a month? Keep in mind, there are people who make more than $35,000 a month. People make $50,000 a month. There's people who make six figures a month. And sometimes we can be so stuck in our rut of reality that this possibility doesn't even cross our consciousness or our awareness as a possibility. But I want you to entertain a thought like that, because that's how seeds are planted. Entertain the thought. If you're a person who wants more money, I'm just using this as an example. Entertain the thought of $35,000 a month. How does that feel? Yeah. Now, once you get that feeling, that's the frequency. Hold on to that. Because it's that frequency, that feeling right there that you just imagined. And it didn't necessarily come with a picture, right? It was just the feeling of that experience, which you imagine that might be like. That feeling is the frequency that will attract that experience to you if you can hold on to it. Believing, number one, that it's possible for you. When we start dealing with the belief structure, the mindset, what's possible for me? Are you the type of person that says, well, certain things like that, being a millionaire, that's not possible for me. Being married, that's not possible for me. No, I'm not good enough for that, or nobody would ever want to marry me or look at me in that way. No one's going to fall in love with me. That belief right there, that belief alone will keep you from being married, okay? But once you change the discussion and you change the idea to no one will ever want to marry me to it's possible for me to get married. It's very possible that I could find someone who could love me, who I could love for the rest of this life and be very happy with. Once you begin to entertain that idea, it will attract more thoughts that are like that idea. And those thoughts will create a feeling that is the frequency. Now, what you need to do is have a faith in that mindset and that belief structure. Okay? Now, I talked about money and I talked about marriage. This is two examples because those are two things that a lot of people want. Okay? But it can go to anything, whether we're talking about health, if you're having health challenges, okay? Or is it just talking about looking a certain way, having confidence, having friends, having a social life as opposed to being a hermit? I like being a hermit. But being social is fun too. It's good to have a balance between the two. But I'm throwing some examples out there. And it starts with, what do you believe is possible for you? Okay? Do you believe it's possible that you can make more money, have a life of abundance, have a life where you don't have to worry about bills being paid, okay? When you know undoubtedly that you're gonna have more than enough money to cover the bills and expenses from month to month, and you don't have to be check to check, that's a different reality for a lot of people, okay? Some people don't know what that's like. But when you understand that there is a possibility for that, you're beginning to preview a parallel universe, a universe where you don't live check to check, a universe where you're financially abundant. When you begin to entertain the idea of being a spouse, happily married, you begin to preview that parallel universe, okay? And the way you bring it to you is to hold on to that belief, that idea that's going to attract thoughts, that will give you the feelings, and that feeling is the frequency that will attract to you that experience, that will pull you into that parallel reality. Do not entertain thoughts that are adverse to where you want to go. I'll give you an example. Let's say I'm in Chicago and I want to go to New York. If I want to go to New York, I would not entertain the thought of going west, because I will never arrive in New York if I'm going west. So why would I think about Colorado or New Mexico or Washington State? For example, I'm not going to reach New York if I'm thinking about west, okay? If I want to make it to New York and I'm going on a road trip, then I'm going to entertain, or I'm going to look at a path that's going to send me east to where New York is. And that is the only path that I'm going to pay attention to, because that's the path that takes me to the desired destination. Life is no different. A belief system is a path. Choose your path by choosing your belief system, by deciding to believe that something different is possible for you. Once you accept that something different is possible for you and begin to entertain ideas and thoughts that are in alignment with that belief, you will draw to you the feelings that are associated with that path of beliefs. And in doing so and holding on to those beliefs, thoughts, and feelings, you will then attract to you the reality that you desire to arrive in, that destiny that you desire to experience. You can give yourself all kind of detours. You can give yourself all kind of obstacles if you decide to entertain doubt. Doubt will be your only obstacle, because there's two paths. There's doubt and then there's faith. Okay? And your attention to one or the other is going to determine where you arrive. Hey, drop me a comment. Let me know if any of this resonates with you, or if you have any questions, drop it in the comments. Let's talk about it. Please be sure to like, share, and subscribe. And I'll see you all next time for Optimal Expression. Peace and love.